Welcome, my name is Rich, and this is a Let's Play of Kingdoms of Amalur, Reckoning. Not Re-Reckoning, haven't bought Re-Reckoning, this is the original. So, I wasn't sure what I would be playing today. It was between this, Divinity Original Sin 2, or Hellgate London. And I was leaning more towards this or Divinity, so that put Hellgate London out of running. And earlier, maybe I should have done this yesterday, but I was doing some research on what you need to know before you start playing Divinity Original Sin 2, because I've played a little bit of it, but not really much past the very beginning tutorial. I've gotten to the beginning area, Fort Joy, and so I know a bit about building characters and so on, but I have heard bits and pieces about more of the game that suggest that it's more complicated. You need to, ideally, you would, you don't need to, but ideally you would put a bit more thought into it than just jumping straight in. And I haven't done that. I am a perfectionist. I'm a bit weird like that. And so I want to spend some time playing the game, working things out, working out the correct order to do certainly the beginning sections, because as I understand it, if you add people to your party and then go and talk to various people, including vendors, stuff can happen, and the vendors, depending on who's in your party and what happens, may no longer be available to buy things from. And so if you want to maximize your playthrough, or at least your build, and I haven't got I don't know what sort of build I will prefer to play, and I don't want to lock myself into a build that I won't enjoy for the entirety of Divinity Original Sin 2, which I understand is quite a long game. And I don't want to play for 50 hours until I finally decide I don't like a build, and then start again and then have to do another 50 hours to get, back to where I was. I certainly don't want to do that on stream. So I'm playing Kingdoms of Amalur because I'm familiar with it. I've played it. I've completed it before a number of years ago. I don't remember when exactly. The game was released in 2012. I don't remember when I played it. It can only have been a couple of years after that. So 14, 15, I suppose. I know what sort of build I want to go for with this. I'm familiar with the combat, and I've got an idea of the story beats and where I need to go, and I'm basically, I'm familiar with the game. And before I play, certainly Divinity Original Sin 2, but I think going forward, any game on stream, I want to be familiar with it first, so that I can avoid bumbling through, making mistakes that an experienced player would find obvious. At least, if I'm going to make mistakes, I want to do them deliberately, not because I lack information. Anyway, so I'm going to be beginning a new game. I do have a couple of saves. So the version that I played through all of was, as it happens, a pirated version. I hadn't bought it at the time. I completed the game, moved computer, and decided, you know what, I enjoyed the game, I'd like to play it again, I'll buy it. And so this is an official version, I promise. I bought this off Steam. This is an official version. But as a result, I don't have any saved games. Even if I did, I would want to start from the beginning anyway, so that I... on stream at least, explore the progression of the story in the game from that point on, from the beginning. So, we're at the beginning. There is a bunch of cutscenes, and then I'll do character creation, and then have some more cutscenes. I'm not quite sure how long that will take. I've got an idea of what sort of character appearance I want to go with. But I might change my mind. And I don't know how long it will take for me to settle on an appearance. So this might take a while before we actually get to any gameplay. Fair warning, you may want to come back in half an hour. But anyway, new game. Oh yes, difficulty. We'll just go with casual. I can't be bothered with stressing myself out over hard or even normal. I mean, I could probably manage normal pretty easily, and I could probably manage hard if I felt like punishing myself. But because I'm streaming, a portion of my attention needs to be diverted permanently from the game to being a presenter. Hello, welcome. In my Let's Plays, I like to focus on the story well. I like to be snarky and make comments. Provide commentary, colour commentary on what's happening. So I'm going to go with casual. I'm doing this to enjoy it, not to challenge myself, because challenging myself is not something that I particularly enjoy, especially not with an audience. So, casual it is.
From the beginning, we were wrong, and only now, well into the second decade of the conflict, have we begun to understand the mistakes we have made. We lived in harmony among the Fae, in a world awakened to new magic. Perhaps we should have foreseen what might be born on this rising tide. What force might awaken. A force powerful enough to twist even the eternal and immutable Fae folk. But Gadflow, the new king of the Winter Court, surprised us all. Singular among his people, he was all that other Fae were not. Aggressive, ambitious, visionary. He had power like none we had ever seen, terrible and deadly. Gadflow and his followers, the Tuatha Deon, believed that a new god was to be born in the east, beneath Gadflow's crystalline fortress of Amathen. In the name of that god, they marched to war against the young races of Amalur. Against a mortal army, no matter the power of their god, we might have been victorious. But the Fae are creatures of magic, not bound by the laws of life and death. Each Tuatha fallen on the battlefield would soon rise again, for the Fae do not know death as we do. How could we stand against such a force? For 10 years the war raged. For 10 years the armies of Men and Alpha fought and died. But as our numbers dwindled, we knew that it was only a matter of time. Our fate had been written. At least, that is what we believed. Until you died.
What do you think this one is then? Alpha? Garan? Could even be a Jotun. Always a surprise, eh, Garan?
Eyes on the job, boy. Don't matter what it is. Dead's dead. And be thankful for that. All we've seen. Go on and pull back the sheet, though. It'll need to be in our report, one way or the other.
First of all, there's absolutely no way that this is a Jotun. Jotun are twice as tall as a human and about 3 times as wide. There's no way that that gnome would be wheeling a Jotun around on that size cart alone. Second, the intro voiceover said that Tuatha forces regenerate or reborn, and this is true, but my understanding from the game, my last playthrough, was that it takes a number of years to happen, not like months or weeks or even days. And each individual's rebirth within the Tuatha is a unique amount of time. Like, there are some who don't get reborn for centuries, and there are some who get reborn repeatedly, because the way that their life cycle flows is that they are born fully formed from a hill, a magic hill, not just any hill, and then they play out a story. And at the end of their story, maybe they die, maybe they don't. But if they die, then they get reborn, and then they play out the story again. And now the Tuatha the army that the humans are facing, whose king is Gadflow, things are a little different for them, but they still need to be reborn after the passage of time, and so they're not immediately resurrected. Welcome, Ravenforce and Darkstar. Hello. I didn't want to talk over the cutscene, even if there wasn't much actually happening. So, racial bonuses, background doesn't really matter as far as I've been able to tell. I mean, there are Dokalfar and Nosofar in the world, and I played through, when I completed it, I did it as an Almain, and I don't know whether being a Dokalfar, for example, gets you different responses when you're in different places from different people. The game is Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning. You get racial bonuses to different things. I don't know that that's really very necessary. I mean, it will be an influence on the beginning of the game, but you can max out all of your skills, like Detect Hidden, like Lockpicking, before the end of the game. So the starting bonuses don't provide you a permanent boost. Like, if you choose Dokalfar and have 2+ stealth, that's only at the beginning. Like, the maximum you can earn is a maximum for everyone. Like, you don't get +2 to the maximum of stealth just because you're a Dokalfar at the end. Like, that's just at the beginning. Your race can, now that I think about it, can affect the god that you choose. So, because the Almain have different gods, they get different... Well, I mean, Mitharu, god of order. The Varani might have... No, okay. They don't have Mitharu. Poison damage, poison resistance. It's quite good. I think I'm just going to play as in our main. These bonuses you can make up with gear. Well, maybe experience. I don't remember. It's been a while since I played, to be honest. You can slot different enchantments and stuff on your gear. So all of your gear can have a bonus to fire damage, but this will be permanent on your character. And besides gear, I don't think there's a way of increasing your, like health, damage, mana, stuff like that. Maybe the fates you can choose can affect resistances. I don't remember. But let's just go with war. Third on God of War, Battle, and Tactics. Now, this doesn't actually matter very much. There are no churches in the game, as far as I'm aware. You don't need to perform worship, for example. So let's just continue. There's a variety of, presets, but you can also customize once you're in, so to say. Now, I am tempted, I will have to say, to... Where's hair? Oh, there we are, hair. I am tempted to try and recreate the mohawk-wearing elemental badass that I have typically played. So I could even make this person a redhead. And because there are no restrictions on naming, I could also call them technical issues, if I felt like it. Or I suppose I could say magical issues. Arcane issues? Lady issues of Technus. No, I don't think so. You only get one name. Maybe you can use a space. So you could have two names, but I don't remember. Or I could just randomize. I've always wondered, would this not make it a bit difficult to breathe through the nose? Because that's quite chunky. That's quite cool. And there's the... you can change the tattoo intensity so it's barely there or very, very strong. Of course, with the hair in the way, I can't really see what the... tattoo looks like. Beauty is pain. Yeah, they are nice hair options. See, I'm gonna go for like a balanced build in the end, because you've got three main trees to work from with building your character, and you unlock you're not limited by one when you start once you've started building. So it's might, dexterity, like rogue stuff, and magic. And depending on which ones you choose, can affect the fates that you... I mean, it will make more sense when I'm actually in the game. I'm going to go for a balanced build because I prefer that. So it's not like I'm going to go for being an elementalist who uses ice, and therefore I want to theme my character around ice and maybe make them blonde or have white hair or something. Give them blue tattoos. The hairstyle, this is kind of a Roaring Twenties hairstyle, isn't it? Almost. Let's continue. Let's leave it at that.
One of the human women looks Almain to me, and in good shape. These Almain women, wound tighter than a Varani crossbow. All right then, make sure it goes into the report. You know he'll want all the details.
Amazing how well the body held up. Better than I've seen.
I'm just glad it's not moving. Must have been born under a lucky star, this one.
Anything else we need?
Unless you'd like to name her, I think we're done. Put her with the others.
He's such a grumpy shit. Names is something I've always struggled with, and I didn't think to prepare one. Needs a hug or a smack. Maybe a long, tight hug around his neck until he goes to sleep. I'm just tempted to call her Judith or something, but that's... Kill him with kindness. Yeah. I don't think Judith is quite right. Could go with Bertha. Helga. Well, Helga's kind of a Germanic name. It doesn't feel quite right. Bernadette. Oh, Bernadette. You don't want to go for Bernadette. Iona? Is it an I or is it a lowercase L? I can't tell. Iona, okay. Yeah, could be an Iona. Iona Fortune. Well, I may eventually get quite wealthy in the game, but I will not be starting out with a fortune. Lara. I wish I'd thought this far ahead and come up with a name. I mean, I could probably... Abigail. Sarah. John. Steve. Becca. Yeah. Let's go with Hanara.
Well, that's it for you then. Better luck next time.
This bit is rather horrid. Imagine the smell and the slushiness of the bodies. Disgusting. Oh my god, the amount of showers it would take to wash away the smell. Yep, that's precisely what I was thinking. That waking up in a pile of mushy corpses that you had to climb down whilst they're squishy is enough to fuel a lifetime of nightmares, I would imagine. So it's very lucky that this is a protagonist of the style who never says anything or ever sleeps. So I'm using two mods, one of which... There we go. One of which changes the camera angle, because initially in the game you can't change the camera angle at all. In Re-Reckoning you can, apparently, which is nice, but I, as I've said, felt no need to buy Re-Reckoning. And I did look this up. Apparently the only differences between Reckoning and Re-Reckoning are they've added the ability to alter the camera position, and they updated, like they put a saturation filter on the graphics. Is as far as I can tell with some surface level research. They didn't change the story, they didn't fix any bugs, they didn't add anything, they just made it a bit shinier. And so I've added a mod that allows me to change the camera, although I can't alter it without exiting the game, moving a slider on a bar, and then entering the game again. And I think that this is perfectly fine. And another mod which does a similar thing with the graphics by changing the colors slightly. So hopefully this will basically be indistinguishable from Re-Reckoning. It's very pretty. Even Reckoning, not just Re-Reckoning. It's a very pretty place. Secrecy is still important in our work, requiring specialized disposal of our unfortunate failures. Piling remains have become a concern on the lower levels, in the lower caverns, so an incinerator has been added to deal with the wastes. This should make disposal work slightly less horrible, although you should avoid drinking water from downstream of the ash dumps. Hardly a fitting rest for the poor things, but if it's any consolation, these weren't their original bodies in the first place. Formerus Hughes. I don't need to take that because it is not relevant to any story. This is the sort of game where you want to try and run absolutely everywhere because there's stuff hidden in the corners. So it is a chest, but it's open and you can't interact with it. Okay. So for example, there is an incinerator here that I can pitch a body into. Funsies.
Scatter, children of dust! Scatter before the might of the Tuatha!
Tuatha are sort of elves, and they call anyone who isn't an elf a child of dust. And so we're seeing a gnome fighting against the Tuatha. You can't really see very well, it's very small over there. I probably want to equip that weapon that I've just picked up. Rusty longsword. Definitely looks rusty. Interestingly, you don't actually find any other weapons this shape and style in the game. This is pretty much unique. Like, this is single-edged, almost katana build, really, with a defined section here, separated by, you know, a ridge, and then another defined section here of edge. The rest of the weapons in the game don't really look like that. Anyway. With it equipped, I can fight. Giant mutated rats. That guard is doing remarkably well against the
Stay away!
Attacker. You could probably wait here and watch them, because I don't think that they can have... oh no. Never mind, he lost. I was going to say, I thought that maybe they might fight indefinitely, but obviously that's not the case.
No child of dust shall...
Welcome, Clickbait. This is Kingdoms of Amalur. So, Re-Reckoning was released last year, but as far as I can tell by some light googling,
help! Anybody!
They didn't actually change very much. They didn't add any story. They didn't add very many new options. They just made some slight changes.
Up there, please help me! Please!
How do I?
I know there's a filthy more mortals. Oh, thank you. Thank you. If you hadn't come along, wait. I've seen you before. On the slab. You were dead. It worked. By the tome, it worked. You're alive. You died. I don't know how or even where. But your body was remade in the Well of Souls, and somehow it worked. The well restored your soul to your body, and it worked. We must get you to Professor Hughes right away. He'll have questions for you.
I don't know how many of these I can ask before the story moves on, but...
Professor Formerus Hughes, the Well of Souls is his life's work. The Tuatha are coming into the lower levels. If we hurry, we should be able to beat them to the top. Take these. They'll help keep you safe long enough to get to Hughes. Now, let's get going! Oh my. You don't know? Perhaps the process damaged your memory. They are the Tuatha De'On, the enemy of all the young races. We've never seen them this far inland. Not even during the invasion. I don't know why they're here. I wish I could tell you more. You showed no signs of life when we removed your new body from the well's waters. We just put it in the furnace room with the others. We would have never done that if we knew. The Well of Souls is just ahead. You'll see. And it works. It restored you to life. There will be plenty of time to explain later. We've got to get going. He'll be in his study on the ground floor of the tower. At least, I hope he's there. And safe. Let me get this door, and we can be on our way. Right this way.
So, yes, I wasn't sure which game to play between this Divinity Original Sin 2 and Hellgate London, and I was leaning more towards this or Divinity anyway, so that kind of removed Hellgate London from the running. But earlier today, when I was doing some research on Divinity, I discovered that probably want to be... Oh, no. There we go. Don't want to run around with no pants on. What else have I picked up? Minor healing potion. Map to radial. Can't remember how to open the radial. Ooh, shoulder camera is this key. Okay. Oh, usable items will build radial. Okay, tab. There we go. I discovered whilst I was researching Divinity that I probably want to do more research than I was able to in the time I had.
This is what they're after. Our greatest invention. The Well of Souls. Imagine an end to war. An end to death.
I don't think that's what the Well of Souls will lead to. Looks pretty evil, and I suppose if you call resurrecting people evil, then I guess it is, but other than that it's not particularly evil, I wouldn't say. So with Divinity, I think I want to, particularly because builds are much more locked in Divinity Original Sin 2. I think that I want to spend some time off stream playing it more than I have done, which is only very, very little bit at the beginning. I've gotten to Fort Joy once, basically completed the beginner tutorial, the first tutorial, and so I want to spend some time getting a better handle on the different play styles and decide which one I want to use for myself, and make a decision of what sort of character I want to build before I actually get into playing it on stream, so that I don't have to. So I'm not there 30, 40, 50 hours in, finally decide actually I'm not really enjoying
We're in the store.
the build.
See if you can find it.
And have to restart building a new character. think I need to map. Lockpicks to my radial. I think that they just get used automatically when I try and unlock a lock. The interesting thing about gear in the game is that you have 3 gear types, not including the tattered shirt and ragged leggings that you start with. So there's cloth, leather, and plate. And cloth increases. You'll see that this leather stuff has a boost to critical hit damage. Cloth increases your all cloth armor, regardless of anything else that it does, increases your mana regeneration. Gear can also have other benefits, and you can slot gems, I think it is, to increase them even further, or add more. Leather increases your critical hit damage, and plate increases melee block efficiency. And that doesn't mean if you put on a full suit of plate armor, you'll become invincible. You still need to dodge. I discovered this the hard way the first time I played. You still need to dodge if you're wearing plate. You can take more hits, and take less damage when you get hit. You don't take no damage or almost none. So you do still need to pay attention to enemies who are trying to attack you and them telegraphing attacks. And also there are no restrictions on certainly basic gear. I think maybe other gear will also, like later gear, will have requirements. So like you need a certain amount spent in strength or in magic or whatever. But there are no basic limits to the gear that you can equip. So you don't need to make a choice to be a warrior to wear plate armor before you can equip it. So that's nice.
Wait! Do you hear something? Lord Tuatha!
Another mortal for the fire.
I want to gut you.
You're going to need more than just that sword. That one had a bow. Get it?
You can have 2 weapons equipped as a primary and secondary. Don't know why a Tuatha wearing Prismere armor would have a crude birch longbow, but oh well. Prismere is the red crystalline stuff that they're wearing. That's the end game plate armor. You switch weapons, well, with the scroll wheel, since I'm on PC, and you'll see up the top corner is where my health and mana are, but also my quiver of arrows. Now, where would it be? Is it L? No. Okay, I probably haven't unlocked it yet. Oops, hello.
Archers up ahead. Best shoot them before they see us.
They've seen me. They've seen us. not terribly fond of the bow. The weapon, it's a bit limited. You have to be within a certain range before you get a reticle that shows you where you're aiming, and that's usually within notice distance, unless you're sneaking. You can increase the number of arrows you have in your quiver with, I don't know what the game calls them, but with points. But because I don't really intend to play with a bow, I'm probably not going to bother with that unless I absolutely have to spend the points. I just want to change the button I use to block with. Oh, sprint's L shift. Is T links to anything? No, let's do that and then block. Oh, shift. Okay. I might actually make this left control. If I feel like I need to.
That one must be stopped.
Another mortal for the pyre.
I'm amused that he didn't get his voice line out before he died, so it was like I'd hit him, he'd fallen over, and as he was bleeding out, he said, quite confidently, another mortal for the pyre. Yeah. Points for enthusiasm. Let's inspect this before I... Yeah, okay, so you will find... I thought I changed the stream title to Kingdoms of Amalur. I guess I didn't. I should probably do that. So you'll find tattered documents. The writings on these documents are too faded to be of value. It's just scrap, and it's not really even worth picking them up because they don't sell for anything very much. Like tiny amounts. You'll find them dotted around. You can't even like patch them together to make whole documents that you can use to write on. Apparently stream title hasn't changed. I thought I set the stream to be saying that it was going to be Kingdoms of Amalur, but I mean I changed the schedule, but I don't do that. See, the thing is I don't do that often enough that I really remember how to do it. So I guess I'll fucking change. Where would I go? Here we are. Okay. There we are.
daggers are deadly if you catch an enemy unaware. Their speed more than makes up for their size.
He's practically prescient, isn't he? Yeah, I'm not going to be bothering with the bow. Sorry. What armor did I pick up? Rusty leg plates. I'll stick with leather at the moment. At some point the game is going to let me know how to stealth, but it obviously hasn't yet.
More up ahead. If you can sneak up on them with your daggers, you should be able to finish them quickly and quietly.
Oh, there we go. Let's see. And then you get a little eye above the head to let you know whether they've spotted you or whether they're suspicious of you. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to get both of them.
The mistake of the gods, easily corrected.
You might be able to, you know.
Look at the mortal burn scatter.
I might need to change the zoom distance I've got the game set to. This is a bit much. Yeah.
Cave blossoms only respond in the presence of magic. Perhaps there is more to you than it seems.
Oh, there we go.
What are you?
Lovely spider friend. We'll meet some more of them later. Hughes, per your request, we've finally got the spider problem under control. Claude will try to take credit for an efficient cleansing with his Praetorians, but I feel he overstates his case and fails to recognize the value that my own quick thinking and scholarly work provided to this successful operation. While overseeing the spider purge, I noticed that those guards who were affected by spider venom exhibited stiffness of joints and tightening of skin, symptoms which suggest a possible solution for the internal cohesion problem of some of the Well's creations. I would have studied these symptoms in more depth at the time, but the guards woefully and flagrantly disobeyed my orders to delay application of antitoxins. As such, I request that we capture some of these spiders in order to harvest their venom and for future testing. Furthermore, I trust that these insubordinate guards will be punished immediately. For my steadfast pursuit of knowledge, I require no medal or promotion. All I would ask is that you please reassign me off the subject disposal detail. Guran. Pretty sure that's the knobhead bald guy who was wheeling the cart earlier. I was just wondering to myself whether we get to see this these tile sets later, and I think that you do. Pretty sure. certainly ones very similar to them. Lots and lots of spider webs everywhere. I wonder what that could signify. Staff. The
It
staff can
completely
be
covered
quite
the
fun.
tunnel. Maybe you can use that staff to burn a path through.
Yeah, I actually do need to equip the staff. Staffs have elemental types, so this one does fire. You can get staffs that do ice and electricity, as I recall. Each weapon has a
More spiders! Burn them! Burn them!
particular combo associated with it. I think you can unlock more stages in each combo. Yeah, I don't think I need bones or a skull. Got plenty of it. I have a sufficiency of both. You can unlock more in the staff. You're not limited to 3 moves. There's a later one that lets you like slam the staff into the ground and then float behind it, leaving it, upright to do an AoE. But because there's a big gap in the attack sequence, I'm not terribly fond of the staff, to be honest. Oh, I actually do need it out. It shows me. I think spiders are weak to fire as well.
Hurry! Get out of here!
He says that quite infrequently. Like he sounds quite concerned each time he says stuff, but there's a big gap between each occasion that he actually said anything.
Die, twas a bastard! Wait, you're not one of them. Ansel, yet alive! And who's this? That's what I intend to find out. She came out of the well.
What? Then she better get inside to see the old man. Quick, before those bottleneck another.
This is where we part ways. But take whatever you want from this armory. We might have a few things that would fit you. Just make sure you get your shoes. We can hold off the Tuatha here. We can't risk you getting killed. You're proof that the well can work. Don't you realize what that means? Just keep going past the top of the well. Hughes will be there in his study. I'll see you on the outside, if fate wills it. Go on. There isn't time to waste.
Oh, I don't get
I'll see you on the outside.
the option of asking him to join me. That's a shame. Pretty sure.
You're what the well spat out. I guess it could have been worse.
Pretty sure that even with a 95% chance of succeeding, you don't actually get him to join you, which is a bit of a shame because it's quite...
Plate armor. Nothing protects quite like layers of impervious metal.
I quite like him.
Leather armor is thin, but will give you the speed to reach an enemy's boat. Simple cloth frees your body and mind. That's why mages prefer it.
never believed the world would work. Maybe it would be best if it never did.
The well brought you back, huh? The rest of us aren't that lucky.
So I can make a choice of gear. I suppose I don't need 2 dented cuirasses, but I think I can sell them. I think I'll probably go with a mix of leather and plate. So let's get some plate gloves. No, that. No. Well, I mean, I want these because they're a valuable resource. Drained that, and I had cloth things. So that's it. Okay.
You come out of the well and the Tuatha show up. That can't be a coincidence.
Well, turns out you're not
We'll see
wrong.
yous. We haven't got much time.
Partially broken down, unfortunately, due to the big crystal bombs. Experiments are now successfully recreating bodies 97.5% of the time. Any missing limbs or extra fingers are now probably how the original subject looked rather than a magical flux on our end. However, full revivification still eludes us. Even with increased testing, products are nothing more than inert lumps of skin and bone, although the occasional spasm or twitch does allow hope for full success in the future. I know some of you complain that we should use cadavers and skip the corpse recreation altogether, but you must know we'd never be allowed to experiment on a subject's actual body. We may be working to recreate life, but that hardly allows us to desecrate the dead. Any further complaints can be brought to me directly, Formers Hughes. So, this and earlier hints indicate that the bodies that come out of the well are not like you don't bring a corpse to the well, dip it in, and then hope that it revivifies. The well regenerates a dead body from nothing, trying to find one that will come back to life. And so far, you, the player, are the only one that does so.
You've made it, and look at you. Even with all you've been through. The Tuatha, your return from the dead. Please forgive me. You must be terribly confused by all of this. I am Fomerus Hughes, and this is my laboratory at Alistar. Everything you see here is dedicated to one thing, the Well of Souls, the pursuit of immortality. And you're my first success. If we only had the time, there's so much we might learn from one another. I wish I could tell you more, but your death is a mystery to me as well. It seems that your memory died with your body. You see, the well is designed to capture the soul of someone recently deceased, recreating their physical form within its waters. Simple, really. Your rebirth is the first we might truly call a success,
There have been others, but the results weren't quite right.
I don't think you ever meet any of those either, which is probably just as well.
I am Fomorus Hughes, Scholar of Vivification Prime Circle. We're standing above my life's work, the Well of Souls. There's so much to learn about you, though. I imagine it's all a bit muddled. A side effect of the prismere? Shape of the basin? No. If only we had more time. The Fae are complicated. I could write 10 volumes on the effects of immortality on their pseudo-feudal court system alone. You don't know. They're called the Tuatha. They were once Fae folk of the Winter Court, but they've been twisted by their Lord Gadflow. But how could they have found us out here? We're miles away from the front lines. The war has never touched Dalentarth. And why attack the well?
So the Fae are separated into summer and winter courts, and in the same way that yin and yang does not mean good and evil, the summer and winter courts, at least originally, weren't good or evil themselves. Unfortunately, with Gadflow taking over the winter court, he's definitely on the side of evil, and with the winter court under his sway, they are basically an army of evil as well, unfortunately.
Too much to explain right now. The Tuatha have come to stop my work, but I don't believe they know about you. Not yet. What's important is getting you out of here safely. You're the only proof of what we've achieved here. I may not be able to save the well, but I can ensure that its only success is safe. We're in the Feylands, miles away from the front lines. I thought we were safe enough from the war, but it seems some of the Tuatha found their way here anyway. Of course you do. Please, we must hurry. The Tuatha are a radical splinter of the Fae. Insane, bloodthirsty, and immortal. Even when they die, their essence returns home to be reborn later. They hate mortals like you and me, and want us wiped off the face of Amalur. I can only imagine how much they hate the idea of mortals being reborn. It's been my life's work. Decades of research with a singular goal, ending death itself. And now, you're the only proof that it's a success. But why did it work on you and no one else? What makes you different from the others? There are so many questions to ask, and if we're to get any answers, we've got to get you someplace safe.
Why you're different is basically the big question of the game, and indeed, not just why, but how you are different.
Good, good. We can't waste time. Absolutely not. I've got my notes, but it's most important that you stay safe. It's just that you're fascinating, simply astounding. I'm not certain what's caused it, but somehow... yes, as I was saying, I'm not sure what... Perhaps I should go see.
Sir! Mr. Hughes! The Tuatha have breached the lab! They're inside the...
No! We've got to get you out of here now! Quickly! Follow the path to the town of Gorhart. Find Agath. He's a friend, and he may be able to help. No matter what else, stay alive! Go!
I don't know that was a particularly good fight sequence. Originally, the game was supposed, I think, to have been a squad-based game. So sort of like Divinity Original Sin 2, really. So you would have had people joining your party and being a part of it as you run around in combat. And I think that chap, whose name I can't remember, unfortunately, Poor bugger. Probably would have been one of the first you could have asked to join you. As I said, I don't think, even if you'd asked him to come with you, that he would have. How did this get pitched? I mean, it was centered along with the ladder. How did it get pitched? I mean, it's like they picked it up and rotated it as a whole, like as if the ladder and the basin were one unit, and just moved them over. Mild spoilers, but Fomorous Hughes will be fine. We'll meet him later. Find out if I can turn off camera shake, because it's atmospheric. I don't really like the camera dicking about like that. Oh, it's not. I thought that was oh, damn it. I thought this masonry was a pile of boxes. Okay, crude iron daggers. Let's go. What weapon it is that she's got? It looked like a rifle with the barrel up and the stock down. Is there anything else in here? I need to break. Oh, there's a chest. Okay, let's have that. Have all of them.
You brute! Tear this tower apart!
Let's see whether I can turn off camera shake. Graphics. Shadow quality. No. Can't turn off camera shake. Damn. Come on. I don't tend to use. You can, I mean, you'll find out in a little bit. There's a bit more accessories, a bit more tutorial left. Hold on, I just want to... Controls. Isn't there some kind of dodge? Oh, dodge is space. God damn. Right, okay. That would have been useful. Nice of the game to tell me. Something inside. Collapsed the tunnel as we were leaving. So here we are. These are all the skills you have available, and they go up to... what's that? 10. These marks, I think, give you an extra, like, ability. Yeah, they're milestones. What do I want? Sagecraft is... so Alchemy allows you to... I mean, this should be fairly obvious, but Alchemy allows you to mix mystic reagents, harvest mythical reagents from the land and combine them to create powerful arcane potions. Blacksmithing should be even more clear what that does. Detect hidden isn't just detect enemies, but also hidden treasure caches, deadly traps, and secret doors. Dispelling is basically the magic equivalent of lockpicking. There are wards which you can find protecting things in the same way that lockpicks protect things. Mercantile gives you better responses from merchants and basically gets you a discount. But also, also when you destroy an item, you recover some of its value. Persuasion is a social thing that lets you, or makes you better at convincing people to do things. Sagecraft increases your abilities to... oh no, Alchemy must be the thing that... harvest mystical reagents. Okay, Alchemy increases your chances to harvest ingredients from herbs that you find around the world, and Sagecraft is about crafting powerful gems. So that's how you add to or alter the elements, aspects of weapons and armor, and stealth makes you better at sneaking. This just increases your ability to hide. I probably want... I'm going to find locked things fairly soon. But I might meet merchants first. No, let's go with lockpicking. Okay, might, finesse, sorcery. Obviously I can't just go in and buy celerity or wrath or terror, but I'm not limited... Harpoon is in might. I thought it was in finesse. I'm not limited by class when I'm choosing my abilities. One thing I definitely want to buy is Chakram Mastery, because I really like Chakrams. I think they're cool. So I will have to buy Scepter Mastery. So you'll see that abilities have requirements before you can buy them. This requires 70 points in sorcery. I don't know whether you can buy these if you split your focus. You might be able to buy one of them if you split your focus between two different disciplines. Longsword mastery, hammer, brutal weaponry, charge special attack for the longsword, great sword, and hammer. Yeah, let's buy that. And that. How do I activate my... There we go, moves. Hold is... Comet Strike is hold, okay. Minotaur Rush. So this shows you how to perform the new moves you unlock, and it also shows you the ones that are available to unlock, which is quite cool. So it gives you an idea of what the things will look like when you earn them. Fey Blades is basically just a blade here and a blade here. In Warhammer, World of Warcraft, they're called Glaives, even though a glaive is already a thing. It's a polearm with a long blade on the end. But, oh well. Chakrams. Now, chakrams are big metal discs that you can throw, and they'll yo-yo back to you. Okay, this shows you... It must be all the unlockable special moves, because like some of the might set is increasing your like damage with stuff. So it's not... Everything in might is not active abilities. Some of them are passives. But this shows you what all of them look like, even if the video is a little bit teeny tiny. I mean, this could be... It could do with being a bit bigger, in my opinion. I know you've just escaped from a collecting lab, but...
Told them we needed more guards.
I'm just going around breaking all these stuff. Sorry. Sometimes there's small amounts of gold and stuff in there. Now, you can't... Oh, it's completely hidden. Aha! But we can see more of the map like this. We start over here. We want eventually to come down here. Each one of these regions are fairly large. I mean, Elistar Glade is the smallest. And we will unlock the story of all of these locations as we go. We can't actually reach here. You can wander these areas, but you can't go beyond. And it looks big. It's smaller than it looks. But it's quite lovely. This is the Edessa is where the gnomes come from. Issa is the summer court of the summer elves, but they kind of hang out in this whole region. Akatha is a mountain that you can visit in a closed instance. Rathir is it's a city obviously, but it also got a magic school. There isn't much here. I think that's pronounced Baile. And this is the palace that Gadflow hangs out in. But we will eventually visit all of these locations.
Thank Matharu. Another survivor. Are there any more?
I'm not quite sure how she got out before me. As far as I can tell, it was a straight shot from...
I suppose that's a little bit of kindness from fate. May those still trapped inside rest peacefully. This was supposed to be a nice isolated grove. So much for that. For Morris Hughes was one of the greatest minds of our generation. The Well of Souls was a dream that was almost too good to come true. Who knows why the Tuatha hate mortals? Who knows why the Fae do half the things they do? The well was a beautiful dream, an end to death, a cure to tragedy. It would have made war pointless. It could have saved the world. We should have known it was too good to exist. Now our friends have paid the price. Stay safe. We'll be moving soon.
Not sure how immortality prevents war, particularly if it's tied to a location. Surely the wars would then become about who controls the Well of Souls. So, yes, we are about as far west as you can get. The front lines would have been here during the war, and I don't know why they've added this. I mean, you can't go there. At least not during this version of the game. Like maybe you can visit here and here during the expansions, but anyway. So you'll eventually work your way across east to Rathir and then sail to Melsenshire and start fighting here. So this is where all the action's going on in the war currently against the Tuatha De Danann. So the fact that they've managed to not only cross this channel, but make their way all the way over to Alistar Glade is kind of a surprise. It's pretty unusual. Which is why Fomerus and the others were saying they've never come this far inland. That even during the invasion, they didn't get this far. Like, they're not kidding. This is a big distance for them to have travelled stealthily.
Another survivor? But I've never seen you in the tower. Were you one of the Professor's assistants in the downstairs projects? Did he escape with you? That sounds like him. Professor Hughes was very thoughtful. I mean, he is very thoughtful. I'm sure he found a way to get out. He must have! Alistar is remote enough that we don't get a lot of visitors. And with our research, fewer visitors means fewer questions. Oh, you mean Agath? He visits Hughes every once in a while. I never could figure out why they got along. He's friendly enough, if a bit odd. You should be able to find him in Gorhart, just down the road, past the ruins. You can't miss it. We all knew Fomerus was a genius, but I'll admit, even I had my doubts about him being able to bring the dead back to life. Guess the Tuatha weren't very pleased that it worked.
I just don't understand the Tuatha. I mean, most Fae aren't violent. The wild ones can be, but no more than any forest animal. But the Tuatha are some sort of cult among the Winter Fae. Before they invaded Erythel, no one could have imagined the Fae ever marching to war. Brilliant idea, the Well of Souls. Plucks dead people out of the ether, rebuilds their body, and brings them back to life. At least that's what it was supposed to do. Guess we'll never know if it worked now.
Yes. We will never know.
We should be safe here. At least a little longer.
I saw you fighting there. We could have used more of you. Did they really have a troll? I don't know how the Tuatha found us, but if they had a troll, it couldn't have been an accident. Fate was kind to collapse that doorway behind you, or they would have chased us into the glade.
How did they get the troll into the tower?
We started building here when they found Prismere in the mines nearby. Never thought we'd see Tuatha this far out west, though. Fate weavers? Charlatans. You swears by them. But I'll be damned if I trust my future to some cards.
Well, you wouldn't be trusting your future to the cards. The cards just reveal...
Hugh's ran off, you say? I wouldn't worry too much. The old man's tougher than he looks, and he's always got a plan.
The cards just reveal what your fate is supposed to be. Like, they're not determining it. They're just showing it. Like, drawing the cards... I don't know how to properly communicate that.
You're technically a type of wild fae. Related to the fae of the summer and winter courts, actually. Dangerous enough in the wild. But rather also use them in their army. I never did trust fae to begin with. Those Tuatha are the worst sort. They waged some sort of holy war against humans and Alpha for years now. But the front's all the way out east. What are they doing out here? How did they know about this place?
Yeah, that's it. Raven Force. The cards just reveal what's going to happen without changing it. They don't... Yeah, the cards don't set what's going to happen. They just show the map, basically. The cards don't do the cartography, shape the world. They just give you a map.
The well was incredible. But it took armloads of Prismere crystals to keep the thing active. That's why we built it so close to the Stone Candle mines. They even put in a few tunnels to deliver the crystals directly into the well. I told them it wasn't safe. Looks like I was right. Again. Good luck out there. No more.
And this poor bugger is no longer alive. So Star Thistle was one of those things. No reagents found that time, but you can keep trying, and your alchemy improves the chances. Unfortunately, there's no diving. I'm always swimming along the surface, but there are occasionally reasons to jump into the water like this. Like that, just now, where I found some Prismere. What are you? Cripple Spore. No reagents found. I'll get the hang of this eventually, but at the moment I'm a bit out of practice. I'll pick it up. Right. Hurrah. couple of people have died here. 3. Ooh. Slightly better gear. Hurrah. Let's equip that. So this does 7 physical damage and 2 piercing damage. This does 9 and 3. Also this does... Oh, that's a total. Up in the corner. Okay. Let's have that. So this is an armor socket. I think the shape determines what kind of thing can be put in there, but I don't really remember. The design of this is identical to the previous one, but it is slightly better, the game assures you. To the radial, I guess. Now, the consumables, I was just looking at these. Several types of gems to socket. Yeah, I thought so. It's been, I did mention earlier, but it's been probably, when did I play this? It must have been like 2014 or 15. So it's been like 6 or 7 years. And I remember the broad strokes of like the story and the gameplay, but I don't really remember the specifics. The game has these and a bunch of other potions. I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to resources like this. I made it through the game without using many of these, and to be honest, I could probably sell them without missing it. Played it in late 2019, early 2020. Usually sell consumables. Yeah, fair enough. So, like... They're probably helpful, but I never really found a use for them. It's easier to just not get poisoned or use... just don't get hurt. Or use healing abilities rather than potions. Set up my gear to not need health potions. Yeah, you can get pretty powerful... You can get pretty potent... regeneration as you go through. Nice one. Let's take the leech wood. I probably don't need 2 iron kite shields. So with lockpicking, you position the pick around and then move. Press D to make the thing move sideways, and easy, medium, and hard locks have varying tolerances of how close you need to be to the correct position before the slider will go all the way across. If it doesn't, it will vibrate for a little while and make kind of grinding noises, and if it's not in quite the correct position, or if it's entirely out of position, it will break the pick. The shields you can come back for if this is an open world map. It is. I mean, not far away from Goreheart where I can sell things, and I'm not out of inventory slots, so I mean I might as well take them. I can sell them or break them down. Don't quite remember. Oh, this spins, doesn't it? You have to... I don't remember how you dispel. That did quite a lot of damage. Left click when the circle is over the blue mark. But like, I think I was trying to do that. I mean, maybe I wasn't very good at it, I'm never very good at that kind of thing, rhythm game stuff. But I thought I was getting it over the symbols. Spell this finicky. Do you have to hold the mouse button, or like hold? I was pressing space actually. Do you have to hold space or press the mouse button? Like, do you have to hold it whilst it's over, or can you just line it up? Black cohosh. Harvested. Now, these do get used up when you attempt to harvest from them, but I think when you leave a region, like when I leave this to go to Odarath, I can then come back and they will have respawned the reagents, and I think the enemies as well. Yeah, the enemies as well. So the fact that I can have a go at this and fail sometimes isn't a big deal because I'm not using up the resource. I'm just using it up for now. Plant will grow back. It's daily cycle. Oh, okay. I hadn't really paid that much attention to it in the past. I just knew that they would respawn after a certain amount of time. Lining and strings are things that are useful in crafting. Who's this? Mitharu. Nice. Mitharu's protection. Now, annoyingly, that doesn't actually show what Mitharu's protection does, unless you... Where is it? Is it inventory? Abilities. No. Status. No. There's somewhere that shows the effects of the blessings you get, but it's not obvious, and to be honest, that's a region that I think the game could benefit from being improved on. Oh, is it status effects? I thought it would be status. There we go. Okay. Mitharu's protection. Temporary divine blessing granted to you by a shrine. Plus half a point of health regen per sec. Okay. Thank you. So that's why I'm able to regenerate health, which is nice. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to. Hello, bear.
Bloodthirsty berry eater. You. I remember you. You're the one? How did you come back? How did you find me here?
I'm not quite sure how my character knows to ask this, but it's a pertinent question. Did you know about the attack?
No, I had no idea anything like that would happen. The Well of Souls is bigger than one gnome's pet project. My employer pays for information about its progress. I just send the reports to make some money on the side. I never wanted anyone to get hurt.
Yeah, he was the one wheeling the... well, first of all, he was the one wheeling the cart that we were on, and he's also, I think, the one who made the report that we read about noticing that the spider venom could be used as a reagent for tightening up skin and joints. And he got upset that the guards who had defeated the spiders were whining and not and wanting the antidote applied rather than letting him study the effects of the poison.
I promise you, if I knew who it was, I'd tell you. Sharing research is one thing, but academic sabotage is a crime.
I mean, I think that this is really his fault. If he wasn't making reports, the information wouldn't have got out about the location. So, I'm going to deliver some justice.
But why?
I mean, I could have intimidated him for the money, but then he would have gone free without consequence, or without particular consequence for the huge amount of deaths that have just happened because of his greed. Can I sneak up on these guys? Yes. Let's go. Now, one of the dudes who we met earlier said that this Stone Candle Mines is where they found lots of Prismere, and was where they were mining Prismere and having it shipped out from here to the tower, which is not that far away, and you'd think that they'd pave it at least, but no, apparently not. But when we get in there, it looks abandoned and is full of kobolds. Yeah, the mine is quite fun. I don't know if it is. I mean, it's tricky at my level, but I'm sure I've managed it once I realised, oh yeah, dodge things. So I should be able to handle it. My alchemy is not great, but there is always a chance that I'll get stuff. Now, one thing I do want to try and remember to watch out for is it this mine? There are other mines. Oh yeah, it is this mine. Sometimes there are fucking bear traps hidden in the shadows. So you need to be careful when you're in places like this. And nuts. You need to be careful not to just run over bear traps and stick your feet in them, because that's a bad time. And this is, oh no, local map, come on, there we go. This is a loop, basically. Yeah, this place just looks abandoned. I mean, this can't be a functional cart track, not anymore. It's not even in alignment. There are sections missing. I guess they just had the one mine tool set, and they didn't want to make a new one just so that the one mine in the game that should still be operational would look like it's operational. Bit disappointing, really, if I'm honest. The skill that lets you steal the traps and use them for spare parts. Oh, nice. Also, there's no prism here. I think it's tapped out and left to rot. Yeah, it could be that they entirely dug it out, but it seems like it's been abandoned for a while. It was when I was fighting these 4 dudes all at once, whilst I was wearing plate, that I realised, oh yeah, wearing plate doesn't actually help all that much. You can still get hurt. Fucking dodge. I do like that your character doesn't just pivot and then start moving in a direction. Like, if you are running and then you want to change direction, they will... behave appropriately. That, and we'll put the hat on. Oh no, that's weapons. I want armor. There we go. Yeah, you may notice that my health is not regenerating over time. I mean, it was earlier when I had the Blessing of Mitharu, but that's because it was a blessing that regenerates health. So... oh, hold on. Okay, let's go back. In my opinion, definitely worth putting some regeneration into your gear. Consumables. Use so that I regenerate. Very pretty. Quite a few lockpicks there. Wonder why I'm not allowed. I mean, it's just some rubble. Come on, can't you step over the rubble? Bit useless. Yeah, all of this indicates that to me that this place hasn't been used in ages, years, maybe even decades. But the guard that we spoke to outside seemed to indicate that it was being used relatively recently. If you're more gentle when picking, you can feel when it's close to snapping the pick. Yeah, I do try, but it goes at one speed, and I guess I should probably form the habit of tapping the thing to move it rather than just holding down. Hello, chaps. There isn't really like a... Yeah, it's one speed. I can't really very easily do it more slowly. Notice what kobolds can do, but players can't. Is it use a spear? Right. Might 3. Might 1. Okay, there we go. So yeah, gear has requirements. I had forgotten. Where that showed. Strengthening. Now hammers seem quite cool. This would, first of all, unless it was hollow, weigh absolutely fucking loads. And also, because it's flat, not actually be very good as a weapon. There are no spears usable by players. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. I would like it if there were spears. I mean, I'll use this for a little bit, because I'm not that fond of big, slow weapons like this. So it's back to the sword for me, I think. Let's have these, and luckily I can inspect this. Read. There we go. Without actually taking it, I think. Among meticulous entries of mining shifts and Prismere loads extracted, a handful of personal entries stand out. Third Winter, 203. Survey Team Secundus has made a tremendous find. Contradictory to our earlier surveys on record, the Stone Candle Caves in Alistar show signs of a rare seam of Prismere. Word and samples have been sent to the forum in Odessa via secure messenger, and their answer is all but certain. Buy the land, start the mines, and tell no one. With everyone focused on the war, nobody will notice another mine, and we should be able to make a killing. First Spring, 204. Templar. Templar Occitane? not only demanded the establishment of Stone Candle Mine, but has also personally funded construction of a new laboratory in Alistar. This should prevent the nearby town from asking too many questions about the mine, although we still keep a second log in case of prying eyes. Regrettably, this makes for lax reporting at best. One can only hope that this will not reflect poorly in our reviews. 2nd Autumn 207. A new scholar has arrived at Alistar Tower with much fanfare. Word from Ossitene is that Formoris Hughes' research is too important to be interrupted by day-to-day matters, even though he won't tell us what that research is exactly. Meanwhile, Kobolds... Yeah, I'll meet these guys later. But Kobolds continue to be a nuisance, ambushing our miners at the mouth of the cavern. We have too few Praetorians to handle a pack of the beasts, and there's no way I'm letting them station Fair Gorter down here. Bad enough chipping away in the dark without one of those crazy bone men sneaking up on you. Fair Gorter are basically summonable skeletons. You can buy the ability to summon them, and indeed strengthen them if you feel like it. First Spring 210. Early tunnels connecting the mines to Alistar Tower are complete. They'll still need shoring up to be stable enough for use, but soon we'll be able to move the Prismere straight into the labs without worrying about kobolds or curious outsiders. Just in time, too. There have been reports of soldiers lurking in the forest nearby. Don't they know the war front is on the other side of the Phalanx? So, thankfully, I don't need to pick up that and carry it around. Damn it. See, very often I don't have enough time before it starts breaking, even if I tap it. So, this is another thing that's confusing. She's a fresh enough corpse that she doesn't appear to have even started rotting. Like, maybe they didn't code in, maybe they didn't create a an asset for the game of decomposing gnomes, I suppose. And that's it, full circuit, and I just need to jump down here at the jump point. But, I mean, her presence and the fact that she's not decomposing, I have to take... I mean, I can take a Doyleist approach and explain it away by saying, oh, they didn't come up with an asset for it, but the game has skeletons, yes, and it has decomposing bodies, but they're full size. They're human size, not full size. They're human size, not gnome size. But to take a Watsonian view, come up with a Watsonian explanation, she has not been dead for very long. It's the only thing I can assume. We're about to get a cutscene. There we go.
You've come from the tower, haven't you? Name's Agarth. Maybe you can help an old Fate Weaver, eh?
What's a Fate Weaver?
Fate Weavers look at the great tapestry of fate. The threads will tell us how a life will unfold. But knowing the future and being able to change it are two very different things. Did he? Poor old Formoris Hughes. He respected the way the world works. What a shame. He's probably dead by now.
Other explanation is that the gnomes have been using alchemical processes to extend their lifespans, and these processes are akin to being preserved while still alive, thus the corpses rot slower. That's very clever. That didn't occur to me. That is a possibility. Thank you for thinking it up.
When he started his experiments here, he asked me if they'd ever be successful. The cards told me that the Well of Souls would work, but its success would come on the day that Hughes was to die. The old man took it pretty well, honestly, although we did a lot of drinking after that.
That's okay. I was dead too.
You're the one. Then that means it all makes sense now. The cards this morning. I drew the Gravedigger, the Running Man, and the Beast. Prepare yourself. They're coming.
Hello, chaps.
Tear not this.
Gave another bit of slow dribbling there.
Time for a drink. Ready to die, Dustling?
Press X to harness the power of fate and enter reckoning mode. Now, I never really used this very much when I was doing my first playthrough, because I read a guide saying that if you use it too much, you gain lots and lots of XP and you outpace the region that you're in, so that by the time you're finished, you outlevel everything by so much that it's no longer a challenge anymore. And so I never used it, hardly at all. Holding X. Oh, there we go. Which probably made things more difficult for me overall.
Another victory!
What? How? What are you? The threads of fate. I've seen them before, but I've never seen anyone manipulate them like that. You just changed how the world was supposed to work. How did you do that? You just... Fate is the will of the gods. No mortal should be able to change it. How is that even possible? Come here. I'm going to do a reading. You might be able to change the threads, but fate will still have a plan for you. I promise not to tell you if I see your death.
His hands are enormous. Game adjusts the levels of regions, though. Yeah, I know. But once you enter a region, that its level is set. Like, it doesn't readjust when you come back. I don't know. It was years ago when I read this advice not to use it too much, and my experience when I was playing was I didn't use it at all. To the point where I forgot that it was something I could do by the boss fight, like the final fight of the game. Which made that fight a little bit awkward. Until I remembered. So I'm just gonna go through it, not doing it. Because like it didn't affect things the first time through, so...
It's a gift. Some people paint landscapes, other people write poetry. I peer into the weave of fate's tapestry and see people's deaths. That would be my guess. He was an academic, but he had a proper respect for fate's plan, unlike most gnomes. That's fine, but you don't have to. But I can see that you're nervous. Relax. This is what fate weavers do. I'll be seeing your thread in the weave of fate. Who you are, what you've done. where your path takes you. Or at least, I should be. You're real, right? I swear I haven't had that much. Fate's weave is always hard to see. It's in motion, hard to make out, but undeniably there. Yours is just missing. This doesn't make sense. All mortal creatures have a place in the pattern. You should have one too, dead or not. If this is true, and I'm not saying I believe it, then your path is yours to determine.
And then we get fates. So that's what I meant when I said that I wanted to. I'm going to be playing balanced. You can play. I mean, this is my current fate. This E means it is equipped, but it doesn't give me any bonuses at all. Fight, might rather, brawler, acolyte, rogue. Yeah, there we go. And the reason that the main reason that I choose later in the game, you find reasons to believe Agarth is a bad Fate Weaver. I thought that he was really, really good. And the fact that he was so good and accurate meant that people disliked him, so he deliberately obfuscated his results and told people what he thought they wanted to know rather than what actually he saw. So it's not that he's a bad Fate Weaver. In fact, I think from my memories, it was that he was too good and had to adjust and adapt so that he wasn't giving people fates that upset them. So, like, he used to give perfectly accurate fates, and that upset people. So he started basically cold reading people. No, I didn't play the Dead Kell DLC. I just played the original game. I may buy the DLC, actually, if it's still available, so that I've got more content to play. But no, I didn't play Dead Kell. So, you have these fates that give you bonuses, and as you spend points in each of the classes, the trees, you earn more and more. So you can spend just everything in might, and then you get access to a Warlord, which is tier 6, and that gives you huge bonuses to physical damage and damage resistance and all of that. But the thing that I like about balanced is that you get additions to all skills. Oh, the Dead Kell DLC is what I was talking about. Oh, okay. Fair enough. I mean, by the point of Dead Kell, if that's taking place after the events of the game, there's a reason why Fate Weaving wouldn't work so well afterwards. You know? But, like, looking at these, poor old game creators had to come up with how many different terms for these different fates. They must have really, really worked their thesauri hard, because each fate's got 5, or each category's got 5 fates. +3 to all skills is less useful if you have them maxed out naturally, since it can't overcap them. Yeah. but it also unlocks all weapon masteries, and like just because of the way I approached playing the game, and I like having access to everything, like all the different trees. This is how I prefer to play, and this is what I'm going to end up building my character.
I can see the threads around you, but they're shifting, changing so rapidly, I can't make sense of them. Normally the threads would guide my hand to the cards, and I'd use those cards to see your pattern in the weave. But it just didn't happen. They wouldn't focus. So either there's something wrong with me, and there isn't, or there's something very wrong with you. Damn it, it's the truth. At least, I think it is. The world is changing. You might be a sign of that. Or maybe the cause. I've never had a reason to doubt my own readings, but we should consult with Arden. He's not a friend, but he's got a good eye for the tapestry. I'll meet you at his home to the east. I'm going to see if I can be of any help to the wounded at the tower. Once I was Agarth the Unyielding, the Blade of Avgrum. I wrestled the Colossus Priestess and declined knighthood by the High King of the Fae. I was a hero of men, but that wasn't enough for me. I joined the Fate Weavers, hoping to find a way to conquer destiny itself. Turns out fate is the one thing I couldn't fight. You can find Arden's little cottage in the middle of Joven. Had to move there when he got run out of town. He's a damned good Fate Weaver, but that doesn't make you very popular. Especially not in dark days like these. We are all threads in the tapestry of fate. Measured, woven, and cut according to a great plan. Fate Weavers undertake the task of reading those threads. Our title always was a bitter lie, since we have no control over how that tapestry is woven. But you do. And when a Fate Weaver looks at your place in the weave, we see only the shapes of what you may choose to become. The Fate Weavers were once a great, unified order of sages from all the mortal races. We foretold the destinies of kings and gods. But that power takes a toll. Nobody likes bad news. And all the news in the world is getting worse. The order splintered long ago. Now the old traditions are all but lost. And all I foretell is the fate of my beer. And I see it being empty soon. Hughes was always an odd one. Curious and determined as any of his kind, sure. He never shut up about his work. But he always knew what was important. He didn't worry about dying as long as he knew he'd get the well working. The Tuatha aren't like any Fae I've ever known. They're cruel, bloodthirsty, and savage. Why, they're practically human. That's just it. I don't know if you've got one, but that's why we're going to see Arden. He lives in a little hut to the east in Yulven. I'll meet you there. What could this all mean?
It's not quite the same, like, font as used in World of Warcraft, but the game does still use question marks and exclamation marks over people when they've got missions to give you, or quests, I suppose, given this is a fantasy game. Now these are quite interesting. Ooh, there's a chest, let's get that first.
Of all the songs
in halls of lore, there echoes none more grand than Olane's many feats of might, the pure and lady of the light. She is a knight of golden knot. She is the cure seeker, the conscience of the summer fae. She is the heart of spring, of day.
Let's go with mercantile. How can this go up to? I think it was it 5 they can go up to. Seems good. Right, so the circles are active abilities and the squares are passives, seems. Feyblade. Okay. This beefy chap. I think that's bone armor. Oops, hello. I think that's bone armor. It's very well behaved, isn't it? Not leaving through this broken down fence. Hello, chicken. Or sort of chicken. It's chicken adjacent. The beak's entirely wrong for a chicken. But it's fantasy world chicken.
Everyone just stand back. The warden can't work when you're crowding so close. Go back to your business. Go on.
Yeah?
Oh.
Greetings. Did you hear? One of the monks ran off into the woods, looking for Faye.
Keep moving. This business doesn't concern you. Unless you're an expert scholar on the Fae, I'd suggest you move along. No reason to be out in the open with the Red Legion about. What are they? I'm not sure, but they've been here for longer than any of us can imagine. They're older than the trees. They have to be. They grew them. Humans and immortals cannot live together in peace, at least not forever. The peace we have with the Summer Court is unnatural. That's my opinion.
War stones give a surprising amount of XP. Yeah. You basically get nothing for killing cows. I won't bother then. I don't usually.
You might call it
animals.
a Fae nation, one of 2 united factions that rule their kind. The Summer Court are not exactly allies, but they do let us be, most of the time. It's the other Fae, the Winter Court, that has spawned the dreaded Tuatha. A vicious clan of killers who wish to defeat and enslave all mortals. Are you playing a trick on me? I would hope so. We're going on 10 years of the mortals and the Tuatha locked in a deadly embrace. Normally, I'd decry the bloodshed, but this is a conflict that we cannot afford to lose. Bandits, but no ordinary bandits. Surely you've heard of Red, the dead Idward. They say he drinks the blood of his captives, that he consumes their souls. Or perhaps those are just rumors. You should be fine if you stay inside the village. Once you go beyond the boundaries of Gorhart, however, your life is in your hands.
Certain specific kinds of animals you get crafting mats from. There is a special. They also typically attack you, don't they?
I'd never seen one of them until a day or so ago. It appears that a small group of warriors ventured inland to strike behind our lines. Believe the stories, friend. The Tuatha are mad. They have been touched by a dark magic. They are wholly corrupted, and they are the enemy.
I don't know why she's saying a day or so ago. I mean, we just walked for like 10 minutes. I mean, sure, I went and had a bit of a detour around inside of a mine, but like, it has not been that long. I meant scuttle crabs. Oh, okay. I don't recall scuttle crabs at all. I'll take your word for it until we actually get there.
I don't know if you noticed, but St. Ordwig's mission closed its gate moments before that Fae's body turned up on the road. I don't like what that suggests. Not at all. The Brothers of St. Ordwig's are an odd sort, scurrying back and forth across the mission like squirrels gathering nuts. I wonder what goes on behind those closed doors.
I don't care what you race. It's a tragedy whenever anyone's savage like this. Just look at the poor creature. She's been beaten to the brink of death. The Fae may be strange, but they certainly don't deserve this.
Sounds like she's constipated.
It appears she was attacked with some manner of short blade, likely a dagger, although there's no way I can be sure. People simply stood by as she called for help. No one lifted a finger. Can you imagine? It's shameful to treat another in such a way, even if she is a Fae. I don't know whether we possess the knowledge to treat such a wound. Frankly, I don't even know if I could save a mortal with such grievous wounds. Well, you're the only one. With all the troubles we've suffered in this village, people are weary of adversity. They'd rather just ignore it. I'm going to suggest something a bit untraditional. There's a Fae named Eri. She spends her days up on the hill overlooking the village. Seek her wisdom. I would do it, but I am a coward. That's the truth. Perhaps a Fae will know how to heal a Fae. If not, then we're back where we started. She spends her days in the precipice overlooking the village. She doesn't think we're aware of her presence, but we most certainly are. Peaceful Fae make up the tribe known as the Court of Summer. They are led by a king in a faraway city, hidden from mortal eyes. That's about all I know. Little more than rumors and stories from my youth. Our fate rests in the hands of a few chosen who fight in the east. You wouldn't even know it in Gorhart. We're miles away from the smoke and the screams. I've spent most of my life dealing with them, but they aren't like us. Not at the core. They don't know what it means to be a man who sweats to feed his family. Gorhart has become a sort of refuge for those settlers who wish to live a life free of Fae. I don't see that lasting. Not with the war. Not with everything changing.
Everything changed when the Winter Nation attacked.
We keep a precarious peace with the Court of Summer, one that's tested every day. I lie awake at night worrying what kind of disaster awaits me in the morning. But we're a good community full of good people. We have our eccentrics, sure, but we work hard and live quietly. That's the best anyone can do these days.
You claim that this is a good community of good people, and yet you also tell me that they stood around while someone was attacked and stabbed in public, and none of them helped.
I'm the Warden of Gorehart, and a poor one at that. I've been back from the war for only 6 months and been Warden for less than 2. Now here I am with an injured Fae on my doorstep. I'm a disgrace. I've seen many bandit clans in the Crystal War and back home, but these men are a particular breed. They like their victims weak and bloody. The Red Legion has been a presence in the area for several weeks now. Our people are scared to show their faces after dark. I don't know what the Tuatha would be doing this far from the front lines. It must be something vital to their interests. They're a wicked breed, though, and I pity the man who meets up with them in these darkened forests. Hope you stay in town.
No new special deliveries at this time. I think, because I haven't ever had add-ons for the game, I think this is where you get special gear delivered. Hi there, chap. Avery. I came to Gorehart to look after your kin. Rika is as wonderful as you described, yet she is a shadow. She misses you, my friend, as we all do. As do we all. I will watch over her since you cannot, and I will visit you often. This war be damned. Who would have guessed I would come to a mission and trade a prison for a cloister? If only we had both escaped. Alas, the bars were too strong, Tuatha too cruel. Your brother-in-arms, Mason. That's presumably who's being kind of haphazardly buried here. Beneath lie the remains of Alden Gorehart, leader, father, visionary. May Mitharu grant him rest and peace in keeping with the authorities' order. 1420. Presumably he was the founder of Gorehart Village. Now,
don't start any trouble.
I could
What?
loot this. I think my camera is covering up too much of the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, but there is an option there called loot chest, but it's written in red and it's got a red hand, which means it's illegal, and if you do it, the people around you will be upset with you. So I won't. I think, can I? Let's save. I think I can check what's on here without getting in trouble. If I don't take anything, I'm fine. The special delivery boxes for the DLC stuff. Okay, yes, I thought so. Compendium of the Peoples of Amalur by Alexius the Old. Chapter 14, the Varani. Varani history. These people are said to have descended from an ancestry shared in common with the Almain, and long ago migrated north and away from the fertile lands of southern Alfaria. The word Varani is derived from the Jotun word for traveller or trader, and despite many attempts by Almain, Alpha and others to bring the Varani under their own influence, they have remained independent from any government. It is said that the desire to avoid governance is what drove the Varani away from the human kingdoms of the Almain and Basarwyn. As such, the Varani are to be found inhabiting islands off the coast as much as the coast itself. Varani appearance. The Varani are similar to Almain in average size and are typically more fair-skinned and fair-haired. They often feature elaborate tattoos or jewellery to accent their otherwise practical cold-weather clothing. Their garments are made to withstand the rigours of sea travel, as well as the cold of the ice-brine coast from whence they originate. Jewellery is usually made from gold, and nobles often wear silks or pelts as well. The influence of other cultures can easily be seen in their manner of dress, including the rich colours of the Alfar. Varani men usually groom long beards and sometimes braid them, and the Varani women traditionally plait their hair. Varani society. The Varani are a mostly nomadic seafaring people found along the ice-brine coast and other lands along the northern coast. They have small settlements but serve as trading outposts, but are merchant sailors more than farmers or fishermen. Varani society is a non-gender-based meritocracy. All roles aboard ship are valued, and while they may not all be equal, they are not without their place and purpose. The Varani believe that anyone who is cunning and able to hold his or her own deserves a place aboard a ship. The Varani are not as religious as the Almain, but they are considered very superstitious. They use charms and amulets to ward off evil. While there is no unifying religion, the Varani are sensitive to signs and omens, and they have a strong concept of luck. Most of their superstitions involve the sea, which they regard with respect. And yes, there we go, because I didn't take anything.
Come in. Welcome to Goreheart, the last settlement before the Feylands. How can I fill your pack today?
Brick the boxes and get coins. I don't think that I will risk it.
The Alfar and the Tuatha have been at each other's throats for nearly a decade now. I can't remember the reason. I wonder if they can, the fools.
She's the second or third person that's referred to the battle, the Crystal War, as being nearly a decade, but the opening cinematic said that for the better part of 20 years, which means more than 10. They really don't care if you break the boxes. Oh, fair enough. Still, it seems antisocial, and I don't think I will.
You will find it settled on a small lake beside the eastern road. Compared to Goreheart, Didenhill could be called a city. The Fae are elemental creatures, magical and strange. None too considerate of us mortals either. They see us like pets, or worse, like bugs. It's best that you stay out of the eastern forest. I've seen things you can't even imagine. The road is dark and dangerous, and it's a long hike to Didenhill.
I'm more dangerous than I appear.
Some call it the Camp of Cowards, on account of it being settled by those who refuse to enter the forest. Can you blame them? Never trust a wood that whispers. There's Nettie the smith, and Nanny handles potions and remedies. The inn's across the way if you fancy a pint. Keep an eye out for the Red Legion, though.
It's a weird gameism. The powers of crates are seemingly just powers of junk, but in RW terms, that makes no sense. Real world terms, yeah.
Oh, I doubt it's an organized group. More likely that it's one scared idiot with a knife. I heard someone in the village mention the Red Legion, but that can't be true. Me? Widowed, going on 5 years now. All my boys were taken by the Tuatha. Both sons, my brother, and my beloved Avery. Wicked business, this war. I refuse to speak of them. Please respect my wishes.
Let's sell some crap. I'm amazed I got 1 gold for that rusty longsword. Old boots. 0 gold, but I can still get rid of them here.
Goodbye. Ending up with a bit of a hodgepodge of gear. Very stylish. Got sandals and weird like foot cuffs, like calf cuffs, and then leather pants and iron plate. You can mark things as junk and then empty the junk bag at a vendor. I think you just right-click the item. Alright, cool. Thank you. Let's do that. Yeah, they're basically identical. Yes, what do you need?
Shop. Sell all. Nice.
Goodbye.
Stay indoors after sundown.
So you can craft stuff in the game, but you need, I mean, this will show you what you need. These are rivets. That's a that's the arms of the bow. I think that's a wrap or binding. That's a disc. And the bonus stuff will be unlocked as you improve your blacksmithing. Salvage. Oh yes, that's right. I thought I was. I think I was going to salvage some of the iron stuff that
Care to part with some gold?
accrued. Oh well, I can't be bothered right now.
Are you here for a weapon?
Going to earn a lord's favour in this ridiculous war, are you?
Oh, she can repair stuff. Cool.
Troublesome creatures, the Alpha. No doubt this war is a result of their meddling in the affairs of others. We here in Goreheart are far from the front, and deliberately so. Our hearts may be with the Alpha, but our bodies stay here, safe on the other side of Dalentarth. We've seen our fair share of dead. The truth is, we have as many cemeteries as we do settlements. Look around you. These are no mere woods. This is the heart of the Feylands. Once you enter the forest, you won't emerge again until you reach the plains.
I would argue we're still in the forest, really.
The Fey are one with this land in ways that no mortal race could ever be. They are true creatures of magic. Leave the village, walk 50 paces in any direction, and you'll find a Fey. Pray it's a friendly one.
Most of the Fey around here are actually entirely harmless.
Look around you. These are no mere woods. This is the heart of the Feylands. Once it is an Alpha stronghold in the east. And if the reports from the front are to be believed, Melsenshire is all that stands between the Tuatha and us.
In this game, durability is actually pretty important. At some point in the game, it is cheaper to buy repair kits and use repair kits than paying a blacksmith. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I've only got 3 repair kits. That would have entirely used up my supply.
I intended to pledge my sword to the Alpha, to fight the blasted Tuatha. Had my helmet freshly polished, my sword sharpened to a deadly edge. Then I saw the carts headed west. They carried the corpses of the fallen, some all the way from Melsenshire. After that, my fire to fight went out. Forever.
So, you're a coward.
I hear their warriors die as easily as any others, only they don't stay dead. That can be a problem during wartime. I was raised to know weapons before anything else. You won't meet many women who could fashion arrow fletchings before they could speak.
I would wonder how good the arrow fletchings would be if she was preparing them
so long
pre-speech. By the time you get to Clericon, repair costs will skyrocket. Yeah, I think it's probably based on the quality of the gear that you're using, so that doesn't surprise me.
Can't talk. Herc doesn't like loafers.
I think you need to experiment before you can create, unless you find recipes. Yeah, I don't own any recipes at the moment. Failed experiments are basically grenades, and actually pretty dangerous early game. Cool. Causes a random effect to occur. This effect may potentially be good or bad. Minor healing potion. Cool. Minor Flesh Eater. A potion that enables you to absorb health from your enemies for a short duration. Can be mixed at an alchemy workbench using the following reagents. Right, anyway. Can't make better healing potions until you level up alchemy. Fair enough. A dialectical survey of cripple spore caps by Nane Henry. What is the essence of cripple spore cap, and what is possible in harvesting one? This question will lead us through a deep and thorough examination of the species of mushroom indigenous to many caves of Dalentarth. Many scholars have posited theories on the shortcomings of such a volatile ingredient in the use of everyday alchemy. However, a true alchemist can avoid the pitfalls of the laywoman. Should one be astute of mind and resilient in the face of adversity, one can overcome the hazards involved when achieving the potential of the cripple spore cap. Let us begin by examining what exactly is the cripple spore cap. The cripple spore cap is a type of fungus often found at the base of large trees. It is unique in that when left to grow undisturbed, it will reach at least eye level. It exudes a faint metallic odour and is yellowish-brown in colour. The conical fruit body is narrow and darkens near the stalk. The entire body also glows with a soft luminescence. But do the physical characteristics of the cripple spore cap capture the entirety of what it is? The poisonous nature of cripple spores has been well documented in the overview of mycological study by my sister and fellow scholar, Aura Henry. Oh, you meet her earlier. She's the healer in the tower. And she makes it out, actually. She'll probably still be there if I go back. Besides the toxins found in the mushroom's biology, the magical essence of the cripple spore is firmly in the poison sphere. This makes the harmless-looking cripple spore a formidable alchemy ingredient. How do we go about investigating this essence? The true potency and uses of this mushroom are only exposed when we probe beneath the surface. There is much more than can be observed by simple field research. One must have an inquisitive mind and question the basic fundamental assumptions that predispose us to a hasty bias. Once again, what is possible in harvesting this deceptive alchemical ingredient? Many things. The first and foremost, and the subject of my personal research, is... and that's as far as the book's gotten, apparently. Simple charm with no real effects. I'm not being observed at the moment, so I think that I probably could get away with nicking that stuff, but I'm not going to. Hey there, guard friend.
Behave yourself. I don't trust those brothers of St. Odwig's. What are they hiding behind those stone walls?
Now, it may interest you to learn that you can actually buy a home in the game and decorate it to an extent, and it basically follows this same format. I think you can add more to the ground floor, but you can also have
Behave yourself.
a basement and an upper floor. Not that any beds are ever usable.
What will I do? You there, do you feel nauseous, itchy? Have you noticed any blood leaking from your eye sockets? I've been noticing the symptoms everywhere. No, this situation could not be any worse. If the Red Legion is involved, then we could all be staring death in the face. What have I done?
Use the word buy. They're more quest rewards.
Why ask questions when you could never understand the answers? It's clear your prowess is not with wit, but with a weapon. If you must know, something of value has been stolen. An alchemical formula that, if released, could cause untold devastation. I see its symptoms everywhere. Only my apprentice, Karth, and I knew of my work on the formula, but he's gone missing as well. It was an early version, unstable and rife with potential dangers. My hope is to develop a weapon that the Alfar can bring against our common enemy, the Tuatha. To say more would be to reveal my secrets. All I can say is that it involves lesions, goiters, and a good deal of pus. His name was Karth Hilfred. I found him one morning outside my door, picking through the ember eyes. I was impressed how well he knew his way around a plant. I've never seen one so eager to learn. I do not deserve such goodwill after what I've engineered. If disaster occurs in Odarath, it will be on my head. I'm not sure where Karth may have gone, but I knew that before he came to me, he found shelter in the ancient chambers of Agnor Hall, an Irathi ruin east of Gorhart. Once you've ensured Karth's safety, you must learn what's happened to my formula. When you do, destroy it. It's the only way to keep us safe.
My memory... I mean, even if I didn't vaguely remember this, I would suspect that Karth ran off with the recipe to try and sell it.
He always spoke of his time as a wastrel living in the abandoned halls of Agnor Hall, the Irathi ruin. People say it's haunted, but people say many things. The villagers believe it's haunted, but I have a feeling that's a ruse devised by the Red Legion. They mean to terrorize these people into submission, and it's working. Haven't you seen it? The grim tower to the west. Avoid its shadow if you can, because what transpires inside Alistar will benefit no one, I would know.
It's benefited me.
I have seen many conflicts unfold, but never have I seen one in which the fates of so many are at stake. The Tuatha will not settle for simple victory. They want total domination and will do whatever it takes to achieve it. For years I dabbled in alchemy, healing, divination and transmutation. All of that seems frivolous now, what with the war looming over us. Now I spend my sleepless nights in search of a formula that will end such conflicts forever. I fear for his life. Karth was gifted in a way that I've witnessed in only a select few. If the Red Legion has him, there's no telling of how he'll be treated.
I think Karth wants to sell the concoction to the Red Legion, and you catch up with him when he's in the middle of it, and you either find that he gets betrayed by the Red Legion and killed, or maybe he gets left to deal with you. And then you kill him, obviously. I don't think Karth is innocent in this. I'm pretty sure that I remember that he's responsible.
If you must know, my name is Nani Henry, formerly the chief alchemist of Alistar. But you wouldn't know what that is, would you? When the scholars in the tower ordered me to leave the grounds, I took refuge here. The Almain are a private people, keen to keep to themselves, like me. Bandits, Ruthless and well organised, the Red Legion is reaping many rewards by preying on vulnerable Almine settlers travelling east. Long ago, these villains confined themselves to the coast, but recently they've moved inland to avoid the war. Now they're our problem. They are the Undying, the corrupted roots. Their existence is an abomination. Everything in Amalur exists for a particular reason, except for the Tuatha. They're not meant to be.
If I recall correctly, Karth gets the point. I forget whose point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's ours.
Goodbye.
But it could be his contact with the
Greetings.
Red Legion.
Oh.
Yet another game where the outsides do not really match the insides. Also, there were a lot of people around earlier, standing about, looking at this poor elf who was stabbed. But there's not really that many places for them to live. Like there's this tavern.
Greetings.
And the apothecary and the corner shop. And there's this monastery. And that's it. Sister Zelda sleeping at the foot of the stairs here. Poor woman. Oh hey, chest. Let's go and pilfer its contents. Serve that.
I'm not accustomed to all of this excitement. It was difficult enough to adjust to life during wartime. Now we have to be on our guard for Tuatha right here in our own home. What is this world coming to? My experience is limited to Arnik Arduna and Katrin Orway. They seem the same as any of the rest of us. Wiser, perhaps, but decent, hard-working folk.
What, like the random piles of boxes? I do remember that you can't get money if you break them, but I guess I wasn't paying attention.
Truth be told, I know nothing of why the Tuatha are at war with the Alfar, nor why men fight the way they do. All I know is who picks up the pieces. The Tuatha's madness infected the Winter Court. All Fae existed peacefully for centuries, until the Tuatha got involved. It's sad. I'm hardly a scholar, but I can tell you what I know. There are two Fae factions, the gentle Court of Summer and its coarser cousin, the Court of Winter. As a child, we were told stories of their ancient rivalry. These are surely myths, but enough to scare a young girl. In the last few years, the Court of Winter has fallen, corrupted by a group of powerful Fae called the Tuatha. It's the Tuatha we fight, and the Tuatha we will defeat. I would think they were a myth if not for the Tuatha. The Fae keep far from us. Perhaps they view us as intruders in their lands. Perhaps they disapprove of our civilized ways. Perhaps they know something we don't. I fear that most of all.
As far as I can tell, the Fae, particularly the Summer Fae, function kind of like Ents in this world. They view us as being too hasty, blink and we're gone. And I mean, they don't shepherd trees in the same way that Ents do, but they feel like very similar life forms.
I was a miller's love who became a miller's wife. Now I am the wife of a soldier. My duty is to hold vigil for my beloved and for all our men on the lines. I was born and raised right here in the village. Well, not in Gorhart proper, but on a farmstead outside the village boundaries. It was a good life. Before the war, of course.
The game is really weird in saying this is a village where it's got 3 buildings in it, and there are no farmsteads outside of it, and there's no mill here of any kind. Like,
it's strange. Those old birds have been perched on that hill for as long as I can remember, staring down over the rest of us in the village like hawks. I know so little about them. I don't even know their names. It's my understanding that they were once members of the Court of Winter, and Fae like any other. But something dark lured them, took them, and twisted them in its grip. Farewell.
Avery, I worry about Rika. We of the Order should not visit the village often. Father says it is a distraction, a swamp of murky morality. But I can't stay away. I care too much. Your widow's sorrow deepens. She has come to close her shop at odd hours, to retreat to the darkness of her upstairs bedroom. I see the glimmer you loved so, but it fades. She is lonely without your or her children. She is so delicate, so beautiful of heart. I try to console her, but it leaves me shaken. I will continue to watch over her in your absence, dear friend. You have my word. Your brother-in-arms, Mason. Wasn't this from Mason as well? Oops. Yeah. So Mason is presumably a monk in here somewhere. Is he just tossing the scroll, like rolled up letters, over the wall? Is that why he missed with the second one?
Stay indoors after sundown.
Like this is the edge of the village. This is the border. Big stone arch that you can't really see very well. This is outside the village. This is the outer world. And there's no fucking farmsteads out here. Look at this asshole. Really don't like brownies. They've got weirdly big heads and pointy teeth. Death's Touch. Not sure what that does. Temporary divine blessing granted to you by a shrine. 15% chance to steal 20 health per hit, and 15% chance to steal 20 mana per hit. Not bad.
I don't know if what the Fae say about these stones is true, but if it is, well, this is just too good to not save forever. Lystrom was out of town when Artol was visiting. Now, Lystrom doesn't know Artol, and Artol is older and strange. She could be mistaken for a Fate Weaver. So, when Lystrom came back to town, here was Artol the Oracular. I said to Lystrom, I hear her readings are amazing. You should go. Oh my, you should have seen it. A rooster, she said, will change into a man, and this man will become your lover. He will provide for you, and he will make you laugh, and he will make your life exciting and easier. But, and this is something you can never forget, he must never eat chicken. And once in a while, he will need to peck at things on the ground, and every morning at the break of dawn, you'll hear a loud cry from him.
Some Fae architecture seems to be composed of living trees, so the Ent analogy is apt. I'd say that's a good thing. You remember how that one group of people farms silk? I don't. Is it in this game or is it in something else? I don't remember people farming silk at all. But yeah, so those stones are supposed to be records of Fae stories, but recording over them is quite easy, and some assholes decide, like that woman, that what they have to say is more important than records of Fae oral history and culture.
I don't trust those brothers of St. Odwig's. What are they hiding behind those stone walls?
Stone secrets. I'm sure there's some kind of drum percussion instrument involved in this music that we're hearing. It's not all coming from the pipe and sort of stringed instrument that he's got there.
How may I serve you? I am Katrin. Do you require my healing touch in mind, body, or both?
It's kind of a bold thing to say whilst wearing such a low-cut top.
The Gnome's Tower stands to the west, past Gorhart and beyond the ruins of Alistar Glade. However, no one should seek Alistar. Its secrets should be kept. I am unable to watch while others suffer. Too many mortals have fallen prey to the Tuatha, and I could not stomach it. So I left my home in Rathir and travelled west. There are many Almain villages just like this one, yearning for peace, crying out in pain. What good are my gifts if I cannot make what is broken whole again?
If I recall correctly, the village was Canarok. Could be. Maybe I was being a bit too literal. about there is no farmstead outside of this location.
I buried everything I was when I buried my family. That is the war's legacy for many of us. That is all I have the strength to say. The forests of this region are one of the densest in all of Amalur, and the stretch from Alistar to Isa. Those of us who live in the shadow of its canopy call Dalentarth the Feylands, because this is where these fair folk have their seat of power. Find the fair folk if you wish to learn the ways of magic. They understand this world in a way that is hidden from mortals. You will find many Fey in Dalentarth, as it is one of their ancestral homes.
Kenrock isn't a farm in the traditional sense, so much non-traditional. Kenrock stirs some memories, like I vaguely recognise that it's somewhere in the village. And now I realise that you were referring to Kenrock as the place where people farm silk, not as the place that what's her name said that she came from. A little bit confused there, apologise for that. Yeah, I vaguely recognise that Kenrock is the name of somewhere in the game, but I don't remember what happens there.
This has been my home ever since my love was taken by the Tuatha. After such a loss, one craves quiet, but it seems that the war has followed me here. I require a nominal fee only so I may eat and have a bed to call my own.
Spiders. Zillions of spiders, yeah. Well, I could have guessed that. I'm assuming that it all goes wrong and they get eaten by the spiders or something.
The glorious Alfar city to the east is where the forces of right gather to face the Tuatha. It is an enchanting place with a long history of magic. Magic is a natural wonder, no matter how you use it. The Tuatha are the exception. Their power is tainted, and it has caused a grave imbalance.
Luckily, I don't have any diseases or curses, and I don't need healing, so...
Be
Goodbye.
careful out there.
But it's good to know that she's here. I think you come to her when you're trying to get the Fae outside healed.
I wish the village wasn't so near to Agna Farhole. You know it's haunted, don't you?
Yeah, probably shouldn't go... I mean, I'll check what's in the desk. The large, simple lettering on this sheet of paper suggests it was made to be tacked to a tree or tavern wall. Where in all Dalentarth can such a panoply of fine crafted goods be found beneath one roof? Fine metalwork of Inga Risberg, the exquisite potions of Oleander Sinclair, quilts and head wraps of the most stunning needlework. Our goods are known and sold from Odarath to Amer. The Adventure. A small book is a volume of The Adventure, a famed journey through the Winterfell lands. How much of this is there? Not too much. Listen, my friends, we have set out... Oh, hold on. The words of Solon Raimgar, as chronicled by Parthalan. Listen, my friends, we have set out to do what no mortals have ever done, find the armour of On. So, Artress, I know you do not wish to go, but tell me why, because if you say you are afraid, then know that we are all afraid, and that's not a good enough reason to abandon your companions in their moment of truth. The dangers we have faced before, and I love you all as brothers and sisters. I would never imperil your lives for anything. We will be cautious. I am told there are ways to defeat the Cluricon, and then we have what no mortals have dared to grasp, immortality. Think on it. Think of the glory and excitement that awaits us, and think of how this is your only chance at that glory, perhaps ever. You are only given one fate. Accept it. Embrace it. If you be so bold, meet me in a week's time at... And the Adventure 1 indicates that there's more of these, and I think there's like 8 or 9. You will have to save them from getting eaten. The people at Canarok. Yeah. Makes sense.
Times are hard, but hard times can pay if you're willing to take risks. If you have the sword and stomach for this sort of work, we could use another strong arm among the Warsworn.
Warsworn are cool dudes. Now, there's a banner down here, probably behind my camera, and there was a symbol down here. When I was talking to Odarath, I assume that these indicate like that this banner is of the Warsworn. So it's a white banner with 3 spikes on the bottom, and there's a blue serpent like wiggling up, and a sort of silver circle that it hangs out in. I'm sure that we'll find a symbol of the Warsworn that isn't just in this interface, and we'll get to see it at some point later. But I realised that my the way that I've got my stream interface set up, this is probably covering up part of maybe a slightly important part, I guess.
Some may try to colour it with fancy words, but we're warriors for hire, the best in these lands. You'll find those who have taken the oath are held in the highest respect all over Amalur.
As far as I can tell, the Warsworn are the only mercenaries in the world as well.
You could head straight to Shieldring Keep and pledge your sword. Might work, but a commendation from me would carry a lot of weight. To earn it, you must do something commendable. There are 2 brothers, scoundrels of the Red Legion, named Osgar and Medgar Krast. Bring me proof you've dealt with them. I'll pay in coin and my good word.
The Warsworn have several garrisons decorated with lots of banners. Yeah, like Shieldring Keep. That's one. Yeah, there's a bunch. There's an armory near the mountain that I pointed out earlier on the main map, the big, tall, pointy thing. There are a few dotted around, yeah.
Osgar hides somewhere in the woods north of here. Medgar was last seen east of his brother's camp. Bring me their Legion daggers, and I'll pay with coin, and a commendation to join the order.
Just realised that we're at, like, nearly half an hour over time for the stream, so I'm going to finish talking to this guy, and then that will be it for today. I didn't realise how long we were going.
Peaceful enough, if it's peace and quiet you like. Trouble with bandits and rogues now and then. That's when they send for me. There's a war in the east, and Dalentarth's got our own troubles with the Red Legion thieves. Some say they've seen Tuatha in these parts. Fools. I'll believe that when I see it.
It's true. Killed a bunch. It's very handy that the Red Legion hand out Legion daggers to their members, isn't it?
We've had our eyes on those 2 for some time. Red Legion scum. They're both dangerous, but it may help to know Oscar favours the bow, while Medgar favours the spear. That's me, war-sworn since before you've been drawing breath, an Oathblade near as long.
Well, I was born yesterday, or reborn yesterday, I suppose, so if you take only the amount of time that I have been alive now, as the length of time I've been drawing breath, many things have been going on for longer than that.
Easy now, stripling. Earn your way to Pledge Shield first. Then, in 5 or 10 years' good service, you'll make Oathblade.
The Red Legion seem to be trying to become a kingdom that rules the Legion. Maybe. Certainly, I don't know about kingdom, but probably like Robber Baron, the leader of the Red Legion, something like that. It's probably his goal. Certainly a despot. Be interesting to note how quickly we make it from Pledge Shield to Oathblade, and in fact all the way up to the top of the Warsworn.
A name taken by some lot of scoundrels to glorify their thievery. A name breeds fear and doesn't die like a man. But killing the men who use the name is a start, eh?
Yeah. You start at Robber Baron, then Despot, then Emperor. Yep, you're not wrong. You become a hero, but not leader. Yeah, you become very, very highly regarded by the Warsworn. And you probably, like, if the game was set up to allow for political and, like, social influence, you probably could impact their policies. Like, you could be a leader. It's just that the game doesn't include the ability for you to do that.
Shieldring, the oldest home to the Warsworn, in the Feylands at least. They're unlike any Fey you've ever seen. Red eyes to match their armor, and fierce as rabid wolves.
Oh, missed one.
Fey are folk, but not mortal folk. They're not concerned with the things we mortals are. What have you been living under? We've been at war with the Tuatha for 15 years.
So he says 15, but two of the other people we've spoken to before have implied that the war has been going on for less than 10 years.
We're fighters for hire. There are none better with steel, swinging it, or shaping it, and none held in higher regard.
Okay, there's probably more people to talk to here. But that's it for today. Ooh, nice banners. That's it for today. That's the end of the stream. I am over by half an hour. Unintentionally. Wasn't really paying attention. But I'll be back on Monday. About 8. And playing more of this. So thanks for coming. Hope you've enjoyed your time here, and I hope you have a good weekend. Goodbye.